Okay, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to DPWH Sorsogon 2nd District Engineering Office. Today is August 26, 2026 and we have a private conference scheduled for today for contract ID 26FL 0038, construction, completion of multipurpose building, tourism building, Barangay Macabari, Barcelona, Sorsogon. And 26FL 0062, construction improvement of access roads leading to declared tourism destination, tourism road infrastructure program. Sua-Laboy access, Bulan-Matnog to Santa Magdalena-Bulusan road leading to Bulusan National Park, Sorsogon. Matnog, Sorsogon. So present for today's private conference are as follows: Cecil Belisin, back member; Levi Dipura Jr., back vice chair; Leia A. Fontanares, back member; Denise Ann Herado, planning representative; Glenn Inicio, back secretariat; Dian Albay, IT; and Jessalo Almilia, back member. Since we have already a quorum, this private conference is now called to order. The agenda for this private meeting are as follows: basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, eligibility criteria, documents to be submitted by the bidder including technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, summary proceedings including bid bulletins, supplemental to be issued, questions, comments from the bidders and replies of the BAC and other representatives of the procuring entity, and other matters. To discuss the basic contract data is Engineer Denise Ann Herado.
Basic contract data for contract ID 26FL38, contract name, construction completion of multi-purpose building, tourism building, Barangay Macabari, Barcelona, Sorsogon. Contract location, Barangay Macabari, Barcelona, Sorsogon. Approved budget for the contract, 2,970,000 pesos. Source of fund, GAA FY 2026. Contract duration, 126 calendar days. Predetermined and workable number of days, rainy days, 26 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 5,000 pesos. Submission of bids scheduled on September 9, 2026 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids, September 9, 2026, immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work, BICWOPS. Project description for the scope of works. The project covers the completion and rehabilitation of the existing tourism building, including wall repairs, cladding, waterproofing, painting, doors and windows, carpentry and metal works, plumbing and electrical improvements, exterior concrete pavements and walkways, and tiling works in accordance with the improved plans and specifications. Objective: to complete and rehabilitate the existing multi-purpose building in Barangay Macabari into a fully functional tourism building that will support tourism development, community activities, and public service delivery. For these specific objectives, complete the unfinished architectural and engineering components of the building, repair deteriorated portions of the existing structure, improve the functionality, safety, and accessibility of the facility, upgrade plumbing and electrical system to meet operational requirements, enhance the building's aesthetic appeal through modern architectural finishes, improve surrounding site development for better accessibility and public convenience. And lastly, to provide a sustainable facility that promotes tourism, local livelihood, and community development. Next, we have the geotag photos taken during site validation. We also have the certifications that certify that the project reflects the latest CMPD and other cost references. As for the environmental clearance, it is still under processing. Next, we have the detailed engineering design plan of the project. We have here the location map, the vicinity map, and the location map of the project. And we have here the other details of the project. requirements of bidding documents, instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, bid data sheet, specifications, DPWH Blue Book, Volume 2 and 3, drawings, bill of quantities, and forms. Next, the bid data sheet of the project. We also have here the special conditions of contract. Next, the bill of quantities. For the minimum manpower requirement, project manager must have handled infrastructure projects, project engineer, DPWH accredited project engineer, materials engineer, DPWH accredited materials engineer, general construction foreman must have handled similar projects, and safety and health officer must have undergone 40 hours basic construction safety and health training. For the minimum equipment requirement, cargo or service truck, 1 unit, 1 bagger mixer, 1 unit. Next, the basic contract data for contract ID 26FL62. Contract name, construction, improvement of access roads leading to declared tourism destinations, tourism road infrastructure program trip, Sua-Laboy access, Bulan-Matnog-Sta, Magdalena-Bulusan road leading to Bulusan National Park, Sorsogon. Contract location, Matnog-Sorsogon. Approved budget for the contract, 56,523,910 pesos. Source of fund, GA FY 2026. Contract duration, 115 calendar days. Predetermined and workable number of days, rainy days, 40 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 50,000 pesos. Submission of bids scheduled on September 9, 2026 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids, September 9, 2026, immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work, RC. Project description. First, we have the scope of works. This project involves the construction of road with a 6.70 meter carriageway and 1.50 meter shoulders on both sides, having a pavement thickness of 0.28 meters. It includes stone masonry lined canals, stone masonry, pipe culverts with a diameter of 910 mm, and grouted riprap for slope and drainage protection. It also includes miscellaneous work such as installation of streetlights and pavement markings. For the objective, improve road infrastructure to provide safe, reliable, and convenient access to Bulusan National Park for tourists, residents, and stakeholders. Next, we have the geotag photos taken during site validation. We also have the certification that certifies that the project reflects the latest CMPD and other cost references. For the environmental clearance, it is still under processing. Next, we have the detailed engineering design plan of the project. We have here the location map, the vicinity map, the key map, and other details of the project. Requirements of bidding documents, instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, bid data sheet, specifications, DPWH Blue Book, Volume 2 and 3, drawings, bill of quantities, and forms. Next, the bid data sheet of the project. We also have here the special conditions of contract. Next, the bill of quantities. As for the minimum manpower requirement, project manager must have handled infrastructure projects, project engineer must have handled similar project, materials engineer, DPWH accredited materials engineer, general construction foreman must have handled similar projects, safety and health officer must have undergone 40 hours basic construction safety and health training. Minimum equipment requirement, dump truck all models, 2 units, payloader 1 unit, bulldozer 1 unit, backhoe 1 unit, motorized road grader 1 unit, vibratory roller 1 unit, 1 water pump or truck 1 unit, transit mixer all models 4 units, concrete batch plant 1 unit, cargo or service truck 1 unit, kneading machine YD 300 1 unit, straight boom lift telescopic 1 unit.
Correction lang po for the key personnel, the project engineer required is accredited DPWH project engineer. For the contract ID 26FL 0062. So for the key points, the lowest calculated responsive bid will be used as the criteria for award. The amount of the advance payment is 15% of the total contract price to be made in lump sum. All progress payments shall be first charged against the advance payment until the latter has been fully exhausted at the option of the procuring entity. The contractor shall submit the program works to the procuring entity within the 10 calendar days of delivery from the notice of award. For the submission and receipt of bids, the bid validity is 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. The sealing and marking of bids, meron po tayong original technical and the original financial. Under the original technical po, andyan po yung original technical documents and the original financial flows into original bid. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract to be bid, the name and address of the bidder, recipient, bank, or procuring entity, and that do not open before the date and time of opening of bids. Same din po sa ating copy 1, nakangalaw po siya sa ating copy 1 envelope for the technical and financial, separate po. And yung original bid and the copy 1 bid will be enclosed in the other envelope. The unsealed and unmarked bid, not compressed and password protected, hindi po natin ina-accept. Improperly sealed and marked, improperly compressed and password protected, accepted po dito. Submission of receipt of bids. For the notification of bids before the deadline of the submission of bids, bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve its original bid, submit new bid equally sealed, properly identified, linked to its original bid, and marked as modification. Withdrawal bids, letter of withdrawal must be received prior to the deadline of submission and receipt of bids. For bids withdrawn within the interval between the deadline and expiration of the bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. For electronic submission naman po, bidder shall send another bid equally secured, properly identified, and labeled as modification on the one previously submitted. The time indicated in the latest bid receipt page generated shall be the official time of submission under GPPB Resolution Number 09-2020. Meron po tayong dalawang modes ng pag-submit ng bids sa ating manual submission po dito po sa ating Back Secretariat Office, DPWH Sorsogon 2nd, Barangay Payawid, Sorsogon, or ang ating electronic submission po, electronic bids_sorsogon2 at dpwh.gov.ph. For the eligibility criteria, the following persons or entities shall be allowed to participate in the bidding of infrastructure projects: duly licensed Filipino citizens or sole proprietorships, partnership organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stocks belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines are persons or entities forming themselves into a joint venture under Section 52.4.2.1e of the RA 12009. Foreign bidder may be eligible to participate in the procurement of infrastructure projects when provided for under any treaty or international executive agreement as provided in Section 4 of the Act and the IRR of RA 12009. Must have a valid pickup license under Section 52.4.2.3 of RA 12009. Must have an SLCC that is similar to the contract to be bid of at least 50% of the ABC under Section 52.4.2.4 of RA 12009. The SLCC shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner and other than the contractors, or a final rating of at least satisfactory ITCPS or a similar performance and monitoring system under Section 52.4.2.5 of RA 1209. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience, provided that the cost of contract to be bid is not more than the ARCC of the registration, must have an NFCC of at least equal to the ABC to be bid under Section 52.4.2.6 of RA 12009. Stated in the invitation to bid, contractors or applicants who wish to participate in this bidding must be in the document request list or the DRL of the PhilJobs website and secure a printout copy showing that they are included in the list and are encouraged to enroll in the DPWH Civil Works Application or CWA at the DPWH Procurement Services, PRS, 5th floor, DPWH Building, Bonifacio Drive, Port Area, Manila, while those already involved shall keep their records current and updated. Contractors' eligibility to be bid at the project will be determined using the DPWH Contractor Profile Eligibility Process, CP, EP, and subjects to further post-qualification. If registered po tayo sa ating CWA, ito po yung mga kailangan nating isubmit: a valid pickup license and registration in case of joint venture agreement, statements of all its ongoing government and private contracts, statement of bidders SLCC, computation of NFCC, and a valid joint venture agreement if applicable. If hindi naman po tayo registered sa DPWH-CWA, ito po ang mga kailangan i-submit: the PhilJobs Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership, in accordance with Section 20 of the IRR, a valid pickup license and registration in case of joint venture, statements of all its ongoing and government private contracts, statements of bidders SLCC, computation of NFCC, and a valid joint venture agreement if applicable. Aside po doon sa ating requirements, kung registered or hindi, meron pa po tayong mandatory submissions ng ating mga documents. For the technical components po, andyan po ang bid security with a validity of 120 days at in either manager cash or manager's check, bank, guarantee 2% of the ABC, or surety bond, callable on demand, 5% of the ABC, or the bid securing declaration under RA 12009, meron po tayong form. The project requirements po, the organizational chart for the contract to be bid, list of contractors of key personnel, list of contractors, major equipment units, old list, and other purchase agreement. The latest general information sheet or GIS reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the SEC for corporations. If hindi naman po corporations, nais po magsubmit. The ISO certification 9001 series of 2015 or its latest version as applicable under Department Order 1110 series of 2024, and the Omnibus Sworn Statement duly notarized under RA 12009. Ito po yung ating form ng bid securing declaration. Ito po yung Omnibus Sworn Statement. Bago pong form, pakicheck na lang po sa ating PhilJobs. And for the second envelope, the financial proposal, ito po yung ating kailangan isubmit. The bid form, summary of bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including summary sheets indicating the unit prices of materials, labor, and equipment, cash flow by quarter or month, and payment schedule, and other documents required in the bidding documents. Meron po tayong checklist, enclosed po sa ating bidding documents, pakicheck na lang din po. Ito po sa kabila yung ating bid form. Ito po yung checklist. For the detailed evaluation of bids, the purpose of this is to determine the lowest calculated bid or the LCB by establishing the correct calculated prices of bids and ranking calculated total bid prices from lowest to highest. The method, a non-discretionary criterion shall be used, which shall be considered of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. Results shall be contained in the abstract of bids. In case of discrepancy between the bid prices in figures versus the bid prices in words, bid price and words will prevail. The total price per item versus the unit price for the item times the quantity, the unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. The stated total price versus the actual sum of the prices of component items, the actual sum of prices of component items shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities, the unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. Paalala lang po sa ating no contact rule, provision of communications with bidder from the bid evaluation until the awarded contract. For the post-qualification, the purpose is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents, to be declared the lowest calculated and responsive bid, or the LCRB. The method in non-discretionary pass or fail criterion shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the LCB. For the key personnel verification, if a proposed key personnel is an employee of the bidder working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that, number 1, the person will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the project is awarded the contract. Number 2, he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualification as certified by the head of the implementing office. For the equipment verification po, also to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any piece of equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. For the common reasons for bidders' disqualification, letter A, late submission of bids without valid reason, submissions of patently insufficient bid, submission of expired certificate of field jobs registration, failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum detail, failure to submit bid form, submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required bid forms, submissions of the bid form, bid security declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and joint agreement without the name, the legal capacity, and the signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. Nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order 9, Series of 2012. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment. Failure to submit proof of ownership, lease or purchase agreement or pledge agreement. Insufficient NFCC and insufficient SLCC.
Are there any questions or clarifications? Wala na. Since we have no more matters to discuss, this privy conference